Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. For those of you who would like to get your car, truck, or Mini Cooper worked on, you live up in the Worcester area, head to Greasy's Garage. As for Pete, Sean, or Ethan, they can all help you, and they always carry Bear's products, or at least for as long as he's making them. And then if you'd like to learn more about the Q-Post, the vaccines, Tartaria, go to communityreviews.org. John Maddox does a great job of keeping everything updated there. And then if you would like to get some great reading material, go to Kevin Richards' books. He's got it for big kids and little kids. Really, he's an excellent author. And then for those of you who want to see some great artwork, click on the links from Teo. Let's go ahead and dig into the rest of the news here from Brenda. So Hezbollah launches front on Israel in joint IRGC strike. And so Hezbollah declared a military campaign against Israel on Wednesday night in what Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps described as a joint integrated operation, launching more than 100 rockets, drones, missiles, at over 50 Israeli targets as Jerusalem retaliated with heavy strikes in Beirut. Okay, so it sounds like it's hell going on over there. You know, just all this craziness, right? Well, as we've learned, the U.S. controls both Iran and Israel. And so, basically, it's the U.S. that is shooting those missiles off. And as we learned from Gally Lucy a while back, I think it was last year, and when she said that Israel was getting bombed by the warships of the U.S. that were out there on the coast, and they were targeting all the Kabul sites. So just know that. And I know we've been told that Israel is being saved for last for unknown reasons. Well, they're not really being saved for last. I mean, they're being dealt with, and they've been getting dealt with. Right now, it's my understanding that there's a lot of Israelis that are hightailing it out of Israel, and they're going back home. Yeah, it's not the wonderful thing that they thought it was going to be. And so they're like, feet don't fail me now. Anyway, I have no doubt that there are parts of Israel that are getting bombed. The deep state was well entrenched there. They had roughly 2 million pedophiles that they were protecting, and so they've all got to be rounded up and fished out of those tunnels and stuff that many of them are hiding in, no doubt. So anyway, it will get done. It is getting done, and so it may well be that you have the U.S. and Russian special forces in there at the same time. So anyway, just keep that in mind. And remember, nothing is the way we think it is. And then let's go to Bigfoot Society reports 6 sightings in the Northeast Ohio over 4 days. So, let's get rid of that. So, it says a series of social media posts from a cryptid focused podcast. Hold on here. Didn't want that. Anyway, so they speculation widespread Bigfoot sightings in Northeast Ohio. And anyway, so the Bigfoot Society and podcast online community dedicated to collecting eyewitness accounts of Sasquatch encounters says it had received 6 separate reports between March 6th and March 10th in wooded areas near Mantis and Garrettsville, southeast of Cleveland. The group has described the cluster as a possible flap, a term in crypto. And let's see here. I'm trying to get rid of this ad. Anyway. So does Bigfoot exist? Yes, they do. In fact, there's a real short video on YouTube of the military helping the Bigfoot. I think it was like somewhere up in Washington. I want to say when there was a earthquake, and they're at the bottom of Mount Shasta or something like that. One of the mountains up there like that. And the military has known about them for a long time. And they were, apparently that earthquake, it really kind of messed with their home quite a bit. So they were helping them. And it's a real short video. It's only like a minute, 2 minutes long, something like that. And anyhow, they are actually very ascended, and they are the keepers of the forest. And they kind of protect it, and they keep it going. So anyway, yeah, then the only time when you're going to see one is if they want you to see them. So keep that in mind. And let's see here. Let's go to, yeah, it's actually, what we're learning is that all these beings that we thought were mythical, not real, turned out to be real. And then PE teacher arrested for allegedly sexually abusing a student at Washington school. And so Washington parents are demanding answers after a 62-year-old physical education teacher and athletic director at Skykomish K-12 school was arrested Friday on suspicion of sexually abusing a student for more than a year. Records obtained by Fox News Digital show that a Washington State man was booked March 6th by the King County Sheriff's Office during the investigation of rape of a child. Fox News Digital is not naming the individual because he has not been formally charged. So, yeah, it's yeah, some of these people, man, they just never learn, and they don't care. I mean, they're so driven. They just won't stop. They're just going to commit the crime. They don't care. If they got to pay the time, so be it. And then Ship of Gold exporter Tommy Thompson walks free after 10 years behind bars. So it says here, deep sea treasure hunter freed after decade behind bars for refusing to reveal gold location. Wow. So Tommy Thompson, a deep sea explorer who spent more than a decade in federal custody for refusing to disclose the location of a cache of gold coins from a historic shipwreck, was released from prison. Thompson, 73 years of age, walked out of a federal correctional facility Wednesday after a judge ruled that his continued incarceration had lost its coercive effect. For the better part of 10 years, Thompson had remained behind bars, asserting that a lapse in memory regarding the whereabouts of 500 missing gold coins recovered from the SS Central America, the ship of gold that sank in 1857 off the coast of South Carolina. Your Honor, I don't know if we've gone over this road before or not, but I don't know the whereabouts of the gold, Thompson once told the judge in 2020. I feel like I don't have the keys to my freedom. And Thompson's downfall began long after his 1988 triumph, when he used a robotic thresher to recover gold from the Atlantic floor. While the discovery was a feat of engineering, it sparked a series of lawsuits from the investors who funded the expedition and insurance companies claiming rights to the treasure. In 2012, after being ordered to appear in court to account for the missing coins, which were valued at the time to approximately $2.5 million, Thompson vanished. He was captured in 2015 by U.S. Marshals at a Florida hotel where he had been living as a fugitive under an alias. So since 2015, Thompson had been held in civil contempt, facing a $1,000 per day fine and a cell until he purged the contempt by cooperating. He consistently maintained that the coins were held in a trust in Belize and that he no longer possessed the specific records of memory to retrieve them. Thompson had remained locked up, even though federal law generally limits jail time for contempt of court to 18 months. In 2019, federal appeals court rejected his bid for an appeal. While Thompson is now a free man, he remains under court supervision. His release does not absolve him of the $3.3 million in accumulated fines, nor does it end the civil litigation from investors who claim they were defrauded. Well, you know, maybe someone should have kind of dealt with him. I mean, obviously he knows where the coins are at. It says going to prison for 10 years over a business dispute is not America, Manley told the AP. People kill people and get out in half the time. That's true. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's crazy. Really crazy. And anyway, yeah, he just basically, they pissed him off so bad that he just dug in his heels, and the Fed dug in their heels and he dug in his. He's like, F you, I'm not going to tell you. And then 4-time deported illegal alien pushes 83-year-old vet onto subway tracks in New York City. And yeah, this goes on all the time there. So 4-time deported Honduran arrested after allegedly shoving elderly Air Force vet onto New York City subway tracks. And so it says the Honduran had 15 prior criminal charges, allegedly shoved 2 victims onto the tracks at a New York City subway station this week, including an 83-year-old Air Force veteran who remains in critical condition, according to reports. I think what they're trying to do here is to really show people what these judges have been doing, because people just don't get it. They're like, you know, they want them riled up, they want them pissed off, and it's like, you know, I mean, we all know that these judges need to be ousted. They need to be gone. And it's just a matter of getting, I mean, we thought we had Trump in there to do that. And at some point, he's going to. But it's like, until he does, this shit is going to go on. And they just want these people, they want the sleepers out there to wake up and really fight back. And anyway, yeah, it's frustrating. It really is. I mean, it's like we put people into office, or we think we are, and they just refuse to do their job. They just refuse. They're so corrupt, and a lot of them, they're not that bright. And the reason that they were chosen by the Democrat and Republican parties to run is because they're not that bright. I hate to say that, but I mean, even if they're Republican, they're not the bright things. It's more important to the people in charge that are picking them to run that they be, how can I put it, a good little puppet for them. And then let's see here. Let's see, 12-year-old girl dies days after collapsing following fight near a school bus stop. And it says police are investigating the death of a 12-year-old girl who was hospitalized after a fist fight near a school bus stop in her neighborhood. And this is in Villa Rica, Georgia. So a 12-year-old girl was taken to a hospital and died days after she collapsed in the street following a fist fight near a school bus stop in her Georgia neighborhood. According to police, the death of a 6th grader, Jada West, is being investigated by police in suburban Villa Rica. That is so sad. I mean, honestly, there's no reason for this stuff to happen. Just not. I mean, we had fist fights at our school when I was a kid, but most of them, they were not like that. Anyway. And then this here. Scientists dump 65,000 liters of chemicals into ocean to stop global warming. This is People's Voice. So a controversial geoengineering project has seen scientists pump 65,000 liters of chemicals into the ocean off the Massachusetts coast to stop global warming. Does that make any sense? So, in August 2025, 65,000 liters of sodium hydroxide, a highly alkaline, caustic substance, was dumped into the Gulf of Mexico. Yet, this wasn't considered to be an industrial disaster. Instead, scientists claimed that the controversial geoengineering experiment could be a step towards help slowing down climate change. Does that make any sense? I don't think so. My goodness. And let's see here. And then this here, Iranian hackers suspected to be behind cyber attack on medical Stryker. Interesting, that's Iran. And then, so medical device manufacturer Stryker Corporation suffered a cyber attack on Wednesday, suspected to have been launched by Iranian hackers, potentially marking what security analysts identify as Iran's first digital offensive against the United States. And let's go ahead and the Wall Street Journal reports that the sophisticated cyber attack targeted the Michigan-based medical equipment giant's Microsoft infrastructure, deleting critical device data and disabling company phones across its global operations as of Thursday morning. The breach remained active, with the company unable to provide a timeline for full system restoration. And let's go to this here. Megyn Kelly goes off after catching 60 Minutes fraudulently splicing Pete Hegseth interview to push pro-Israel narrative. So former Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly went off this week on CBS and Barry Weiss this week, saying they just seem to help themselves making deceptive edits after they spliced an interview with Pete Hegseth to misrepresent his comments and run cover for the foreign state of Israel. Well, the fact is that these people, they have been pro-Israel the whole time. And it's because they are so compromised by Israel and have been for quite a while. But that's being exposed bit by bit. And then this here. 4 military drones stolen from Fort Campbell in Kentucky. So, it says in a post on the U.S. Army Fort Campbell Facebook page, a spokesperson wrote that 4 Skydio X-10D drone systems were stolen from the 326th Division Engineer Battalion building. The Department of Army Criminal Investigation Division is offering a reward for information that leads to the conviction of those behind the theft. The drones were originally stolen in November of last year, but Fort Campbell released information and surveillance photos to the public on March. I imagine, I don't know if these drones had bombs attached to them. Don't know. Have no idea. But, yeah, I imagine they're pretty high tech. And then, let's see here. Chinese national arrested over attempt to smuggle 2,000 queen ants from Kenya. Wow. Why would you want that? So a Chinese national has been arrested in Kenya's main airport, accused of attempting to smuggle more than 2,000 queen guard ants out of the country. Zhang Qiquan was intercepted during a security check at Jomo Kenyatta Airport in the capital, Nairobi, after authorities discovered a large consignment of live ants in his luggage bound for China. He has yet to respond to the accusation, but investigators said in court that he was linked to an ant trafficking network that was broken up in Kenya last year. The ants are protected by international biodiversity treaties, and their trade is highly regulated. Last year, Kenyan Wildlife Service warned of a growing demand for garden ants, scientifically known as Messer cephalatus, in Europe and Asia, where collectors keep them as pets. A state prosecutor told the court on Wednesday that Zhang had packed some ants in test tubes, while others were concealed in tissue paper rolls hidden in his luggage. Within his personal luggage, there were found 1,948 garden ants packed in specialized test tubes. A further 300 live ants were recovered, concealed in 3 rolls of tissue. That's crazy. I've never heard of that. I mean, yeah. It's who'd have thunk? Anyway, yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard of ant smuggling. Wow. And then let's see here. Bags of decapitated birds found in Lake Avondale. That's kind of sick. And so neighbors found bags of decapitated birds floating in a DeKalb County pond over the weekend. The discovery was made at Lake Avondale at Wiltshire Drive and Berkeley Road in Avondale Estates. City officials say animal control recovered 2 bags of animal carcasses. That is really sick. But then there's a lot of sick shit going on, that's for sure. And then here, postal worker drives 52 miles after work to return lost wallet found in minus 11 degrees weather. Wow. And it says everyone in life has likely gone through it at least once. Losing a wallet could be stressful, to say the least. So can delivering snail mail at minus 11 degrees Fahrenheit. But that didn't stop a Pennsylvania postal worker from doing a good deed when presented with the opportunity. 25-year-old Bruce Arma, a new member of the mail team, found a wallet half buried in snow in Coraopolis, New Pittsburgh, and he tucked it away in his car and continued on his route, but not because he meant to steal it. Finishing the shift, he looked to see if there was an ID of that might have an address, and thankfully there was. Speaking with CBS News Pittsburgh's Barry Pinter, Arma explained why he struck out at the end of a long day in his own car to return the wallet to its rightful owner. It was my father's good deeds, Arma said, explaining that his dad taught him that he should do the same in the stranger's position. He lost his wallet and someone returned it to him, so I was just returning the favor. Wow. There's $100 cash in there, credit cards, everything else. And well, good for him. Yeah, that was nice. And then let's see here. Latest news headlines. This is the Sun. Let's see, not that. Let's get rid of that. Boise police recover $50,000 after scammer posed as bank employee targeting the 72-year-old. And it says here that Boise woman who lost more than $50,000 in bank fraud scam over the weekend helped police set up a sting that led to an arrest Monday, according to Boise Police Department. Boise police said officers met with a 72-year-old victim after she was targeted by a scammer posing as someone from her bank or credit union and claiming there was a fraudulent charge. Police said the scammer used fear tactics to convince the woman that multiple financial accounts were compromised and instructed her to take a series of steps to prevent further fraud. Those steps included staying on the phone with the supposed bank employees throughout the process, placing her bank cards in sealed envelopes to be collected from her mailbox, using FaceTime and sharing her screen, denying any new fraud alerts she received, creating multiple rideshare, retail money transfer accounts, and making several cash withdrawals that were packaged and handed to couriers. Police said the couriers were rideshare drivers who likely had no knowledge they were involved in a scam. So officers arrested Delmas Talley as she received the package from the driver in a parking lot at Overland and Orchard. According to police, following an investigation, Delmas Talley was booked into the Ada County Jail on multiple charges. Yeah, I don't think she's thinking herself so smart right now. And let's see, let's go to this here. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupts, sending lava shooting 1,000 feet into the... That's really cool. I've been down there. I've seen that before. That is pretty cool. And then satellites can help predict bridge collapses by spotting tiny changes, thanks to Scientist Solution. And it says here, University of Houston scientists is helping reveal the world's weakest bridges and how to fix before it's too late. We have a lot of fixing up to do in this country. Our infrastructure has gone to pot, to say the least, thanks to all the corruption. And that this here, beautiful tortoiseshell butterfly recolonizes England decades after elm disease had eliminated it. So, yeah, it's a beautiful butterfly. So the butterfly mad British are celebrating what seems the permanent return of this large and spectacular species after Dutch elm disease killed it off from the island. Unlike the small tortoiseshell butterfly, the large tortoiseshell butterfly hasn't been a resident in the UK since the 1960s, but after several years of continuous widespread sightings, it's clearly no longer just a migratory visitor. Indeed, having been seen in Kent, Dorset, the Isle of Wight, Sussex, Hampshire, and others, has officially designated as the 60th resident species in the UK. So, yes, that one is back. And let's see here if there's anything else. That looks to be it for now. I want to thank you all for your support, and thank you for supporting the sponsors of the channel: Greasy's Garage up in Worcester, Bears Product, CommunityReviews.org, Alaska Chakotay, Taylor's Artwork, and Kevin Richards Books. God bless y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.